Hello and welcome to part 2 of the speed building video of Versailles, the Palace of Versailles. So in this part we'll be focusing on the furnishing of the palace or the castle. Yeah, where do I start? At the moment I am trying to figure out the layout of the castle. It is based on the original layout. At least now at the beginning I do change it up a little bit. Yeah. The video was running really long, much longer than this 30 minutes right now. And so I decided to cut it down. So not everything will be visible or will be available for you to watch, sadly. I didn't record everything because, like I said, it was just running too long. And here I was struggling with the frieze and the staircases. It didn't really work out because then the frieze jumped to the inside. Because when you have a staircase and you delete parts of the floor, it becomes a separate room, and it basically screws up your freezes. That kind of sucks, and they still didn't fix it. So yeah. So here I'm just deciding on the wallpaper, but I'll change it up again. I'll move the staircases somewhere else in this build, and I changed that to something else. Will be continued. So yeah, I'm just basically figuring out what to do, and here I just realized that the wall was covering the window a little bit. Just starting on the kitchen now. Oh yeah, and getting rid of that inner wall, so this room could be bigger. I really wanted to have a very impressive and huge dining room. Although Versailles doesn't really have a dining room, if I'm not mistaken. Not really. It was the king and the queen at a dinner table, and then the court would actually watch them eat. That was according to the etiquette. To keep the basic story of Versailles is that King Louis XIV, he was looking for a permanent residence. Because back in the day, the court would move around all around the country, and so at one point he decided to, reside somewhere permanently, and he chose his father's chateau, his small hunting lodge actually, and although his ministers or his court actually wanted him to move to Paris, but he decided against that and moved to Versailles and moved the whole court to Versailles as well. But the chateau was obviously way too small. It's like as big as I'm trying to recreate here. So that's why it got an extensive refurbishment and enlargement as well. So the court could move all the people of like all the counts and marquises and people of the blue-blooded people. I can't come up with the name. The nobles, that's it. They had to leave their own castles and palaces to move to Versailles, because if you wanted to be noted by the king, which was very important back in the day, you had to be at the court. And the court was at Versailles, so those people, they left their chateaus, and they moved to Versailles, and they traded their comfortable chateaus and castles and palaces for a very small apartment in this huge building. So they could get noted by the king and get promoted and stuff like that. So anyway, to keep his nobles busy, King Louis XIV came up with this crazy etiquette. So everything was in public. Everything he did was in public. So all the things that he did became was attended by the court. For example, there was this grand lever where he woke up, and then people would just walk into his bedroom and see him get dressed, and like his doctor came by and declared him healthy for the day, and then he would get washed and get dressed and stuff like that. And it worked this way that people of the highest rank, they were allowed to hand him the robe. So sometimes it happened that a nobleman came into the bedroom, and he was handed the shirt, but then another one from a higher rank came in, and then he got he was allowed to give him the shirt. So the other one had to give the nobleman from a higher rank the shirt to hand it to King Louis. And it was all a big charade in a way, just to keep the noble people busy, because court life could be very boring after a while. So and basically what he did is that everything became public, like the déjeuner as well, which is a breakfast, and all the all his meals became public as well, where someone of the nobles could hand him the cup, or hand him his knife and stuff like that. Like everything was just for show. It was a one big entertaining show for the noble people to keep them busy. So yeah, where am I? I don't know where I'm getting with this story anyway. Yeah, so that's some history about Versailles for you guys if you're interested. And that's why it became such a big palace as well, because he asked all the noble people to move to Versailles, and if you wanted to be seen and be of any importance, you would trade your chateaus and move to Versailles. So yeah, this is the chateau, or the state as it is now, is obviously way too small to house hundreds and hundreds of people. So during his life, I believe he was like king for over 70 years at least, like 72 or 73 years. Versailles was basically one building pit for a whole lot of his life, because they had to enlarge and then enlarge, and it was never big enough. So yeah. Yeah, I find it all very interesting, the history about Versailles and court life. Probably wouldn't be anything for me, but yeah. So here I'm trying to recreate a small version of the Hall of Mirrors. In this version of Versailles, it actually didn't exist yet. It was built in one of the enlargements. But on one of the Facebook groups of The Sims 4, someone said you should try to recreate the Hall of Mirrors as well. And at first I was like, well, it's not really the Versailles I'm trying to recreate, because it didn't exist yet. But then I decided to build like a small version that it doesn't completely look like the Hall of Mirrors, because that's impossible, because of the huge limitations of this game. But I just wanted it to breathe the same atmosphere in a way. So I really tried my best to recreate it as, faithfully is probably the wrong word, but like with the furniture I have, I really tried. And I'm quite pleased with the result too. I mean, it's not exact, obviously, but yeah, I think it looks nice. There might be some custom content out there that has like marble flooring and like the correct parquet floors, and didn't mean marble flooring, I mean marble wallpaper, and the right parquet floors that Versailles had was very famous for their parquet floors as well. But I decided against using custom content, so most guys can actually enjoy this build without custom content needed. I don't have anything against custom content. I mean, these people that created, they make fantastic things. I remember that back in the day in The Sims 3, there was this one person and he created so many beautiful things of Versailles that I would have loved using in this build. But first of all, it was for The Sims 3, and I want all of you guys to enjoy this build. So no custom content for me. Yeah, I know this room that I'm creating at the moment is very symmetrical and a little over the top symmetrical, I guess. But Baroque is very known for being extremely symmetrical as well. So I don't know. It still looks okay though. Maybe a little unnatural in a way, but yeah, it looks nice. At least not everything is completely symmetrical. So in a way this is the old Versailles, but like on the top floor some of the bedrooms are slightly more modern looking. Just because I had to create so many bedrooms and I didn't want to use the same bed over and over again. So yeah, I just decided to make it a little more modern as well. So it's an updated old Versailles, if you will. So it looks like the old chateau, what it looked like before all the enlargement and refurbishments, but it is a modern version of it because it has a TV. So I actually decided to build this this chateau because I kind of wanted to do a let's play of like some sort of generation challenge, but with kings and queens. I did download some custom content for that, like some crowns and tiaras and royal regalia, stuff like that. And I thought, you know what? First of all, it has to be some sort of rags to riches let's play. I really like playing that. But I thought to myself, you know, it would be nice if I already have a nice, good-looking palace or chateau or whatever, castle. And so yeah, I thought, you know what? I'll just try to recreate the smaller Versailles, which is probably doable in Sims 4. So it is definitely the biggest thing I've ever built in my life, or definitely in the Sims 4. Maybe not in my life. I did. It's always Versailles for me, apparently, because I did build Versailles in The Sims 2, or I tried at least. I wasn't very successful, but yeah, I did give it a go. So yeah, this is definitely my most successful attempt. And yeah, I might do a let's play of a king. The Bourbon family, which is actually the name of the kings of France back in the day. Bourbon. House of Bourbon. I don't even know how to pronounce it in English. Bourbon is the way you say it in French. Which doesn't mean I'm French. I'm Belgian. I do speak some French. But my native tongue is actually Flemish or Dutch, which is the same language, but it just has some minor differences. It's not completely the same. So at first I wanted to create a red bedroom because the king's bedroom in nowadays Versailles is red with gold details. But I wasn't feeling it, so I will change it again. And there are some troubles with the freeze again, but it gets fixed. Here I'm still trying to figure out how to use the red and the gold and the white, but I believe I finished it completely in red, and then off camera I change it to light blue. So it changes completely. It'll look completely different on the screenshots. The layout is obviously still the same, but the colors will be completely different from what you're seeing right now. But I use this color scheme in another bedroom anyway, so... This is definitely the king's bedroom. It's the biggest bedroom. And why is it the king's bedroom? Well, at least I'm always going back to Versailles. This bedroom is... it looks out on the east. Because, well, his nickname was the Sun King. And the sun rises in the east. So that means when the king rises, the sun has to rise as well, because he is the Sun King. He was a very interesting person, I think, and yeah. How do you call it again? An absolute monarch. L'état c'est moi. The state am I, or is me. So when the king wakes up, the sun rises in the east, right into his bedroom. Or that's at least the whole idea behind it. Oh, there you can see a sneak peek of, well, not a sneak peek, but like off camera I did change the bedroom completely to blue, light blue. And then this will be the library and music room and art room as well. And that one will be pink. So I decided to use some classical music in this speed building video, because I think it suits the build quite well actually. And also I used royalty-free classical music that you can use for YouTube builds, like some Mozart, and Tchaikovsky as well, Beethoven. Yeah, it just suits this build, you know. I even believe that Mozart was invited to the French court one day to play for King Louis XIV, if I'm not mistaken. And a chess table as well. Oh, it's actually a very multiple purposed room in the end. You can train your mixology skill and your piano skill, violin skill, painting skill, knowledge skill as well. So there's a lot to do in this room. You can read a book as well if you want to. So yeah. It's almost like a hobby room, but then an old-styled hobby room. I hope you guys didn't click away with all my rambling about Versailles. As you can tell, I'm a really, well, in a way I'm a fan of the castle. As a kid, when people would ask me what you want to be when you grow up, I always said I want to be a king. And then my mom would reply, well, I think you were born in the wrong household to become a king, or you could marry a queen. Well, it's probably not gonna happen. But you never know. It might still happen, but I don't think so. But that's okay. I can always recreate my royal life here in The Sims 4, so that's already nice. Maybe I do have a Sims self. Maybe I should crown him king one day. So I don't know how to do that Let's Play. I thought maybe I should go in the political career perhaps, and then I don't know. I don't know how that one works actually. I've never done that one. I don't know what you can become as a political leader here in The Sims 4. So I remember in The Sims 2 you could become leader of the free world or something like that. So that would be cool as a king. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see. I'll start it as a Rags to Riches series anyway, so I'll be very poor in the beginning, and some sort of generation challenge as well. So yeah, might be interesting. So here I'm just building the bedrooms, and like I mentioned before, I didn't want to use all the older styled furnishings, so I tried to be original in a way and use different styles throughout. But I wanted to combine this modern, or slightly more modern looking wallpaper with the very old school vampire wallpaper, but it didn't seem to click for me at least, so I changed it to something else. Although now seeing it back, it doesn't look bad per se though. I mean, it works fine, but at the moment I thought it didn't work at all, so I did change it. Or I'm changing it right now. Looking for the right purple. The purple on itself actually works quite well with the bed sheets, but I wasn't too keen on the wallpaper. Or this carpet neither. And this one has a very small bathroom, and I believe it only has a shower and a sink or a toilet. It definitely has a sink then. Doesn't have a toilet. Oh no, it does. It has all three. But there's one bathroom, one ensuite that only has a sink and a toilet, and it doesn't have a shower. There just wasn't room. And it didn't work with the window, and I just couldn't delete the window because then the outside wouldn't look horrible. And I don't know, I'm really pleased with the exterior of this castle. So it's all very symmetrical as well, so it wouldn't be right to change that up. So here's another bedroom. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure that not all bedrooms are recorded. So I apologize for that. I just didn't want to bore you guys to death. So I decided to cut some of the video instead of making 3 parts. So yeah, this build is definitely up for it's available for download. If you haven't watched the first part, I suggest you definitely watch the first part as well, where I'm trying to recreate the exterior of Versailles, or of this castle. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and you can always comment down below in the comment section. That would be nice for your feedback. Yeah, I really hope you enjoy my videos, and there will be coming a lot more in the future as well. I'm already saying goodbye, but it looks like I'm still building and still creating some rooms, some bedrooms. After the last bedroom, we'll just jump into the screenshots, and I'll shut up there so you can just enjoy the music and the screenshots of the chateau. I did start with some exterior screenshots again that you might have already seen in the first part of this video. But after the first 4 screenshots, we will move on to the interior shots. So definitely download this house or this castle. Give it a like. Give the video a like as well. And oh yeah, you can download it on my Sims 4 gallery, obviously, which is the Wizard of Oz with a double Z. 1988, so that's Oz with a double Z, just like my YouTube name. So I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time, and have an amazing day. Goodbye.